Who's to tell you that you can't really do that? That you shouldn't listen to music with more top end if that's what you want? Who's to tell you you shouldn't put as much bass on the music that you listen to? That's your money, it's your equipment, it's your system. Do as you wish. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today I have David, who has been on one of my latest videos from Expona that you should have seen. He currently owns Borison 05 Sobit Supreme Edition.
Yes.
JMF amplifiers.
Monoblocks.
Monoblocks with the preamplifier.
With the matching preamp, yes.
And your DAC.
It's Ideon.
Ideon DAC. And your turntable.
It's the Kronos Pro.
Okay, and what kind of arm do you have, tone arm?
So I have the Discovery tone arm from Kronos, and then with the DS-EX cartridge and the matching phono from DS2.
Wow. So you got a killer setup, as you can see. So he has a high reference point. But today he flew in from Texas to visit me here in Florida, and his whole entire reason to come out was to listen to the Ultra 7s with Solution. Now, I've said it a million times already. You probably are sick of it. This is the only 701 Stereo Plus in the entire world. I have 3 of them, so this is only one of them. I also have, as you can see on your screen, the 727 flagship preamplifier from Solution. This unit was released approximately 18 months ago. And this time we did something quite interesting, right? We did the DCS Apex Rossini player with the matching clock, and as you can see, I also pulled out the 760 Solution DAC. This is the flagship DAC. I had no more shelves, okay, and I wanted to make it easy for myself, so I placed it on top of the gigantic Griffin Apex. But you know what? We were just trying to do an A and B comparison, although, as you know, I have been against doing these quick A and Bs because I think equipment needs time to settle in the system, right? Equipment needs, especially when it's a component like the 760 that has been on the floor for the last 10 days, it needs time to settle in. It needs music to flow through it for at least a few hours. But anyway, David, so let's get right to it.
Yes, sure.
Give us your feedback at a high level about what you heard through the Von Stryker Ultra 7s. I understand you heard a system, so it's going to be hard for you to kind of separate things, but do the best you can to give my audience an idea of what this Ultra 7 Von Stryker speaker is all about.
Well, we have been listening for what, 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, and then the speakers, they really play at a level that is very, very high. I was telling Jay that it's like a blank canvas, you know? Mm-hmm. It depends on what you put, but it delivers. It delivers the speed, soundstage, clarity, mid-range, amazing mid-range. So I have nothing like good things about the speaker, you know?
I know the first comment you made to me was, whoa, the vocals.
The vocals, yes, the mid-range, the vocals, the clarity in the vocals. It is a combination because, and I hate to do this, but I guess I'm gonna put it. I would say that it's, imagine like Magico and Sonos Faber having a kid.
Yeah.
That's the way that I felt, you know.
Yes.
It has the speed of Magico.
Yep.
It has the clarity of Magico, but also it has the sweetness.
Yes.
From Sonos Faber.
Yes.
So that's what I felt. This, I don't know, 3-4 tweeters, back tweeters that it has, it makes a difference. It really makes a difference. So it sounds amazing. I think that the mid-range is one of the top qualities.
Yes.
But I will say too that the bass is very fast. You know, and then also one thing that it's different from other speakers is that it sounds good from any place around this room.
Yep. All faxes.
Even here,
right?
Even here, it sounds good.
Yep.
And when you see it, you try to sit in the middle, but you don't have to be like trying to find like the right spot.
Yes.
It's like no matter where you are, it sounds really good.
Agreed. Yes.
The soundstage is perfect, so that it's a lot of that. So it really lets you like enjoy the music. And I was asking Jay, and it was not an easy question because we didn't get like an answer like a solid answer. It's like, what would happen if we bring like a bigger speaker?
Right.
What would happen if we bring a speaker double the price of this one or triple the price of this one? What would happen? And at the end, I know it's difficult at this level, but I guess if you're talking about the high level, this speaker is the sweet spot.
It is the sweet spot, I guess, in terms of the price point and the performance. I think that it is bringing some of the best qualities of those huge cost no object
Yes.
designs that we all know by now. But I agree with what you're saying as far as the combination of a Magical with a Sonos Faber.
Yes.
Because it definitely has a lot of the qualities mixed together into this speaker. The depth, which you allude to, certainly is one of the most interesting aspects about the speaker, because the depth, you don't really know something until you really know. And this is going to show you that there are levels to speaker depth. That rear mounted array, those tweeters on the back, right?
Yeah.
The ambient retrieval that does for the music is phenomenal. There's so much more information behind.
There were some times that the voice came like so behind, you know?
Yeah.
And that was amazing, because it is like it is a different experience, you know? It's very different. It's not that you have like everything in your face, you know?
It's not.
It's not just loud and in your face. No, there's a depth, and then it allows you to enjoy. And even if you're listening at high volumes, you don't get like this feeling that it's too much.
Yes.
Exactly the opposite. You want more and another song, and you want to keep listening. So it's very engaging. Even though that we were listening like very loud.
We were listening loud, but the thing is, the speaker swells up and it doesn't come at you, firing at you. It's a very, very cool feeling. The sound grows, basically.
Yes.
That's the best way to explain it, right?
Yeah.
There's a huge expansion of the sound, swells up, for lack of a better word. And I think, again, that's a combination, of course, of the power amplifier and the power reserves of the amplifier, but the speaker's ability to also not feel compressed with so much power.
And something that is very important, even if the sound stage is big and depth, still it feels like one, you know?
Yeah, cohesive.
Cohesive,
Yes.
exactly. You don't feel like one thing, like one instrument here and the voice here. And that sometimes happens when you listen like very loud, and when you are listening complex songs, usually it starts to break up a little bit the sound, and then you don't get that. I was not a fan of this,
Right.
you know? I always thought that it was a little bit analytical, that it was a little bit too much in the top end, so I was not a fan. And however, I enjoy a lot. And at some point, before listening to the solution, I was like, my brain was telling me, this is the thing, you know, it's amazing, it sounds amazing. The clarity, the speed, everything was there. It was not harshness at all. It was like sweet. So it was a great sound. But then, and considering the difference in price too, it's important. It's a big difference in price.
It's about a $35,000, $40,000 price increase.
Yeah, so we have to consider that. So then we switched to the solution, and then everything was better. You know, it doesn't mean that the DCS was bad. I wouldn't say that, but I think it's just a different tier.
So it's a different level.
Yeah, different level.
It's a higher performance category.
Yeah, exactly.
How would you categorize the 760 DAC? What would you tell my audience as far as what to expect with a 760 DAC?
Oh my God! So 760 it's a beast. So the big difference, I would say, like, I'm gonna put an example. When we use the 760, we use like a stock power cord.
Stock power cord, yes.
Yeah. We were using a software, you know, that is not ruined or anything like that, any close to that. And still, it was way better than the DCS, and everything was amazing. So I just can't imagine how it can get better, you know, if you start using like a different power cord. If you put on a server, you know, a high-end server, what would happen? I think that it's just gonna get better. So I think that we listen to the solution like at his lowest level.
Yes, and I will say this to my audience, that you know, they have to pay attention to the fact that we're using three solution components that create maximum synergy. And so we have to remember that synergy plays a role in any sort of comparison. You're given the advantage to the solution DAC in this case, right, versus the DCS.
Yes, and we talk about that, you know, the synergy like has to play something like, I don't know, how much money or what you have to get in order to match this synergy.
Yes.
It's not going to be easy. It's not an easy task, because honestly, we were listening at a very high level. And I mean, I don't have the experience that Jay has, but I have been in a lot of shows. I listen to a lot of systems, and this one has been one of the best that I have ever heard.
Yeah.
Of course, we have the advantage that Jay knows the lab. The speakers were set by Damon, which also it's a thing that we
haven't even talked about the importance of who set up the speaker system.
Everything sounds amazing, but maybe it's also part because Damon set up the speakers. So there's a lot of things, but honestly, I was just impressed. I mean, and you know that I'm impressed with all this. Even with the DCS, I wouldn't say it's bad. You can live with the DCS without complaint at all.
Agreed.
The solution was a little bit better.
Yes.
But I was impressed. Also, one thing that I was impressed, and I want to say, is that because obviously I follow Jay and I watch the videos, but it's never going to be the same when I got here and I look the quality of solution.
Construction.
The construction. It is a robust. It's not, and the lines and everything. I really enjoyed that part. I really liked that part.
You felt like you were getting your money's worth.
Yes.
When you touch it physically, it feels like a very robust,
it doesn't.
well-made.
It doesn't look cheap at all. It doesn't feel cheap at all.
Agreed.
At any level.
Now, you had an experience now with a switch mode power supply, which is what the Solution 701 is, and you definitely felt those lightning fast transients, the speed of the music, things moved much more rapidly, right? And the brakes that it has to stop the woofers.
Yes. And definitely, it's a different feeling because
definitely,
I have been here a few times. So I was here with the Apex Stereo and with the Apex Mono. So I saw that transition. I listened into those ones. So I have a kind of understanding. And this is a different sound. And when Jay told me several times, it's just a different kind of sound. And I didn't understand how it's different. But now I understand it. It's like it's a speed that I think is unmatched. I don't know.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I don't know if there's another amplifier in the planet that is as fast as this one, or another or another set of electronics as fast as this one. And that is a different experience. We were talking about maybe you cannot listen for hours, but we have been listening for hours. And
no problem.
And no problem. I'm very loud, so the sweetness is there too.
There's definitely a lot of great pieces mixed together here with the speakers. So you are hearing not only their speakers, their master built cables as well.
Yes.
My cable line are the interconnects and the power cord behind the 701, plus also the 727 is using my cable line as well. So you're hearing a lot getting out of the speaker and coming at you. So instead of being on the speaker, it just decouples and it feels very three-dimensional. There's a lot of volume with the 760 that is very attractive to me. Not many DACs can pull that effect, by the way. I've had a lot of top-end DACs. Typically, you get that effect, that euphoric effect with two bass DAC. Think of it like Lampensator. Think of it like those DACs that use a tube on the output stage. They are known to do those cool tricks of making you feel like this voodoo effect, like ghost images walking out to you. This DAC, which is a solid state DAC, does that. Okay, which I thought was very, very, very cool. And remember, we're using a very cheap power cord for the time being. So if I were to use my cables and connected to the DAC, I think the performance is going to be definitely that much better. And
let's talk about other thing that also I was very impressed with the speakers, and that is the way that they disappear. I know that we're very used to that, and
we hear that all the time.
All the time, the speakers disappear, and but this one disappeared on a different level.
Yes,
definitely. We are really so into the music here and there, and the sounds are coming from everywhere that you don't think about the speakers at all.
Right.
So they disappear in a different level, and that's something that I would say that is the speaker.
Yeah, the speaker, and also remember the rear array has a lot to do. It helps, right? Because you become more like a dipole type of speaker, where they're firing from every angle, and that's what allows for you to walk around the room and hear music everywhere, and every space and every corner of the room, you're going to get a feel for the music, which is really one of the most attractive features about this Ultra 7, in my opinion. Yeah. And probably any other Von Stryker above the line.
Speaker. Right? Yes, and talking more about the speaker, one thing is that, and this is, I'm not a technical person, or not for this at least, but let's talk about a little bit about the drivers and the bass. So they are the Ultra generation, and I don't know exactly how technical they are, but But the thing about that is that they are very fast too. So when you put it together with the solution, you get a bass that is very tight, very controlled, and that's something that probably if you have like a sub that is bigger, I don't know, like a 15-inch or like 12-inch, that is it's a paper cone, probably you're not gonna get this speed.
Probably not, and it's just why important to try the shockwave subs that they sell.
Yeah.
Right, to make sure that they blend together and they're really prepared to cancel those frequencies that we do not want lingering in the room. And that job was done by Damon here in my room. So the subs you're seeing on your screen are essentially doing that. They're not really adding more bass output. That's not their job. No. The job is to just simply come in and slap those frequencies that are unwanted in the room, if that makes sense, to cancel those frequencies out of the room so that you actually get to hear more of the speaker and less of the room when it comes to the low register. So it's a really cool effect. I've never really had a subwoofer that can do these things, but I mean, Damon has figured it out. Kudos to him. You got to hear his creation in its full glory.
Yeah.
It's set up by him. I have not touched a single dial in this speaker.
Yes.
And remember one thing you mentioned to me in the car, you said there were tracks in which you wanted a little more bass thump, a little more output. And I said, well, that's the beautiful thing about the speaker, that you can do that here without having to buy another cable or another power cord.
Well, what happened is that probably this is that realistic bass, and I want a little bit more.
And this is great because the speaker allows you to tune it to you.
Yes.
Ultimately, it's you who has to be satisfied with the performance of the speaker. I may like less bass than he does, or vice versa. I may want more top end than he does. Same thing goes for you, right? So the speaker is going to allow you to really fine tune these things that are important to you and get more of it. Because ultimately, who cares? Even if you want more top end, who's to tell you that you can't really do that? That you shouldn't listen to music with more top end if that's what you want? Who's to tell you you shouldn't put as much bass on the music that you listen to? That's your money, it's your equipment, it's your system. Do as you wish. The cool thing, again, about the speaker is that you don't have to embark on buying heavier amplifiers with more bass, less bass. You can fix it with the speaker. You can do the fine-tuning and just cost you no money, right, basically. Because what do we do when we tune a system typically? We go after different cables with more bass, different amplifiers. We start doing that, right, to kind of add or subtract something.
Everything.
You don't have to do that here.
And other thing that I think that is very impressive is that I had the opportunity during different shows to listen to different von Schweikert speakers with different amplifiers. And this is the first time that I heard these speakers with solution.
Right.
And it blew my mind.
It blew your mind.
Yeah, it blew my mind because I don't know. Usually, there's like they were very popular with BAC.
BAC,
BAC, and those are tubes amplifiers, so they sound different. But this one, it has the musicality of the BAC, but it just has a speed that is unmatched.
Yeah, the speed. It's a very quick, agile type of presentation. But overall, to wrap it up, give me your overall assessment with the whole system as a whole. What are your final thoughts so you can tell my audience, since you've sat here for the last 4.5 hours listening to it?
First of all, I would say that von Schweikert with solution is a match made in heaven.
Good, okay.
So it's going to be hard to beat this.
Okay.
Second of all, is the whole system is playing music in a different level. It is not very easy to beat. And we were talking about that. What we would do to make this better. What amplifier could be better. You know, what speaker can be better. And it's like, it is hard. It's even hard. And even you can take a guess, but still you're not sure that it's going to sound better than this.
You don't.
So this is like a very high level. And still, I know people are going to be mad at me, but I don't think that it's a lot of money, because there's a lot of things that are still way more expensive, and you don't know if they're going to sound better. So
this is a great point to close it. And I said this to you. Yeah. If you ever climb to this level of Solution Electronics, or even the Ultra 7, to go up that next level is significantly more money.
More money.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars from what you're seeing here.
You know how I would make this better?
Go ahead.
Turntable.
I agree. Yes. Source. Yes. Yes. Source. Yes.
I would put a turntable, and then I know that it's going to be better.
100% in alignment with you. But what I'm saying is, as far as like if you were to get this entire system and you're like, okay, I'm looking to buy something else. Well, I think I'm just going to change the speakers. Careful. I think I'm just going to change the amplifiers. Careful. I'm going to change my preamplifier. Really careful, because you're playing with elite level stuff that you're walking on a ledge one step forward and you're falling off that cliff. You're all the way to the end, all the way to the bottom, and it's gonna hurt you to realize, what did I do? That's what's hard at this level, that you don't have a lot of options to go up the ladder unless you're spending crazy money to go up to something higher that's far, that's supposed to be better.
But even if you if you double the money, you're not sure that it's gonna sound better.
No, you don't. This is why I have a lot of things at once.
Yeah.
Right? And I said to you, if you were to, buy whatever solution in the future and you loved it in your room or whatever the case may be, I said to you, you don't sell it. You bring that next component that you think is better and you compare it home.
Yes.
Because if you sell your precious amp or whatever, or preamp that you loved and you're bored, because we all get bored. We all get bored.
Yeah.
Okay, we all get bored. That you may realize you made a mistake once it's gone. And it's going to be hard to get it back. So it's better to kind of compare what I do. It sucks. It's a lot of money. Listen, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of amplifiers that you guys have seen here. But that's why I'm called a lab, because I can bring it all here, sit in that chair, do the listening, do the A and B. Again, this is why I have a consultation service. Yes, shameless plug. I'm going to say it. You're looking to buy this high-end stuff. Talk to the person that can show you with receipts what he's got. I own this stuff. I can tell you what's going to work, what's not going to work. You're right now watching me getting ready to wire money to a dealer, not knowing if this is going to work or not work, whatever brand you're looking for. Why not spend some money on a consultation with me? And I promise you that's going to be the best money you can spend. Or else, this is how we met, through a consultation with him. Or else what happens is you realize you made the wrong purchase. And trust me, when you tell your dealer this is not what I wanted, it doesn't work, he's going to take it back in on trade and you're going to lose thousands of dollars to move on to the next item. This is why it's important that you talk to people who do it in front of you. I am showing it here. You can check me. Okay, so any last thoughts?
I would say that, from the people that are watching this video, I have heard almost everything here,
Yep.
And I would say that you can buy anything here and you won't regret about anything that you have here sounds bad or it's a bad thing. I would say everything here, it's very, very high level.
It's high level stuff. And if you're looking for high level stuff, make sure you check out my website, jasaudiolab.com, for more ultra high-end home audio components. If you're looking for that next component that's going to take your system to the next level, either set up a consultation with me or just go to my website and purchase that component. Thank you for your support, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace, guys. Bye.